Allowing your identity to shape your morality is problematic, okay? And Israel, in and of itself, is a demonic nation. I will never support Israel, right? So I went from working for PragerU to I will never support Israel. So that's how much the scales have fallen from my eyes about what they are involved in. And if this isn't your wake-up call to just look at the footage of what they are doing, they're playing Hunger Games and like throwing food at them and then killing people and seeing who survives. I mean, it's just at your fingertips. You have to take a look at what Israel is doing.
Oh my God.
A conversation with Patrick Bet-David.
I'm going to go a cut deeper here. This is where I bring Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson into this, and I know that's going to be fingernails on a chalkboard, and the ADL is going to run to my Wikipedia page and trash me even more. And I'm not saying any of this out of bitterness. I'm not saying any of this out of trying to pick a fight with anybody. I just want everybody to know what playing field we're playing on. And this second part of the deal, I want to correct something that Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson discussed. And everybody knows I like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, that Tucker Carlson is my guy. And, I like Candace Owens. She's beautiful and she's courageous. Anyway, let me play a clip here from Candace and Tucker. Just did an interview together, I believe on Friday. I watched it this weekend. And they had an interesting discussion about identity shaping your morality. And I want to correct them on something. Play the clip.
Whether you're allowing your identity to shape your morality is problematic, okay? And Israel, in and of itself, is a demonic nation. I will never support Israel, right? So I went from working for PragerU to I will never support Israel. So that's how much the scales have fallen from my eyes about what they are involved in. And if this isn't your wake-up call to just look at the footage of what they are doing, they're playing Hunger Games and like throwing food at them and then killing people and seeing who survives. I mean, it's just at your fingertips. You have to take a look at what Israel is doing.
Your point that if you allow your identity to determine your morality is a very deep and I think important point that I've never heard anybody put it that way. But it does feel like we're moving toward a world in which, all ethics are situational and it all depends on who I am and who my tribe is and what my identity is. And there isn't, to the extent there used to be, a sense of like universal standards that apply to everyone, otherwise known as principles. You clearly operate by those principles. Does that accelerate, or do we return to a moment where we can say, oh, no, there are universal standards of behavior. Truth is an unchanging thing. Whether we have it or not is debatable, but there is something called truth. There is an actual reality. Or does AI just make all of it
I think the people that we're fighting wish that AI could make everything. I am troubled by AI. I'm troubled by people believing that AI is smart. It's obviously dumb.
And this isn't fear, this isn't cowardice, what I'm about to say, but it's just the truth of my existence. I don't know anything really about Gaza and Israel and what's been going over there. I don't know. I've heard people's opinions, but I truly don't know. I only have so much time in my day. And I only have, between watching Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, I only got so many things I can pay attention to. And I say that in jest, but with some seriousness, that I watch sports, I evaluate sports, I do a show that's based on sports. I like to read books, I like to read the Bible, I like watching Philip Anthony Mitchell sermons. I like, I got so much time. And so I'm not an expert, so I cannot comment. And I know many, what Candace just said about it, I truly don't know. I know what other people think. I don't know what I think about Gaza. And Candace's contention, comments from that, What I want to address is Candace's contention that allowing your identity to shape your morality is problematic. And I say this in love and in correction and in just trying to clarify Candace's comments. And when I see Tucker, not really co-signing, but not, he didn't correct. Or it was such a, because when she said it, I was like, that's an original thought. And I had the same reaction as Tucker, but then I instantly went to, it's an original thought that's wrong and misguided. Your identity should shape your morality. That is a good thing. It is not problematic. The identity you choose, that's the problem. Choose the wrong identity, you'll have the wrong morality. And so if you watch this show, you'll hear me say, hey, look at these crazy black people that are running around. I'm unapologetically black. That's my identity. And you'll listen to me on this show and say, and that's why you're immoral, demonic, stupid, not making progress. Racial idolatry will destroy you. And we're watching it in real time with black people. They've chosen the wrong identity. And that's why you hear me say, I've disavowed my black identity and I've chosen a Christian identity. And you'll hear a lot, oh, I don't get it. You can be black and a Christian. Where's that in the Bible? You can't serve two masters. You can't do it. And so what I want Tucker and Candace, and I'm talking about, I say this with respect and affection, I want them to understand that they're on the right path to discovering the problem and the disconnect and the division and the problems we have here in America. It is the American identity is a Christian one. And what has happened, and this is going to bother a lot of you racial idolaters, but the whole debate we have going on in America right now and all the division has to do with the founders and the people that still believe in the founding principles of America, that we're going to embrace a Christian identity and let that shape our morality, as opposed to the people that promote a tribal, race-based, ethnicity-based identity. That's the feud. Christian identity, tribal identity.
So let me step in here for a bit. Let me step in, big bro. And let me say this affectionately, with affection to Jason Whitlock. Y'all know Jason Whitlock. That's my guy. I understand everything that he's saying. When Candace Owens, and let me break it down from what Candace said, that identity shaping morality is problematic. It is, because of what Jason Whitlock is pointing out. Most people prioritize certain identities that we shouldn't be prioritizing. So if you prioritize your identity as, oh, I'm Israeli, so therefore I'm doing everything with it, whatever Israelis do, I'm with it. If you prioritize your identity, let's say with your job, that may compromise your morals overall with being a member of a community. You could be in a job that, hey, I got to make a lot of money, but no different than a drug dealer. Let's say you're working with a pharmaceutical company. You're selling drugs that you know, these opioids that are harming people perhaps, right? But you prioritize, hey, well, this is my job. Yeah, but what about humanity? What about your morals and principles of humanity?
First and foremost, want to give a huge shout out to everybody that continues to tap in with us, like and subscribe and join our community. If you haven't already, please make sure that you do. We look forward to engaging in some dope convo with you that can help us all elevate. So like, subscribe, and maybe even share the video if you're feeling real generous. On that note, we'll let you get back to the video. See you soon. Ew.
So I understand what Candace Owens is saying from her perspective. She's saying based on how people choose their identities, you should not allow your morals and principles to be shaped by that. What Jason Whitlock is saying is absolutely you should allow your morals to be shaped by your identity. The problem is people are choosing the wrong identity. He's saying that he chooses the Christian identity. He's saying that we're in a battle between Christians, that identity, and the tribalism of everybody else. But where I'm going to push back on Jason Whitlock is to say that Christianity is a tribe. Religion creates tribalism. How does religion create tribalism? Have you spoken to a lot of Jewish people and how they feel about Jesus? Not very favorably. Have you heard Ben Shapiro describe his thoughts on Jesus? Then when you hear Christians say Christ is king, king of all kings, how do you expect the other religious groups to feel about that? Well, yeah, you have kings, but our king is the king of all kings. That is tribalism. It's separation. All these different groups, all these different sects, all these different gangs. No different than we can look at in South Central or in Chicago, and you got people living on the families, people that are related together, just living up the street on the next block. They're going to war with each other because different sects, different gang sets, right? Well, people will say like, yo, y'all are all black. Like y'all are connected to an identity higher that should be prioritized more than just the street that you're living on. Well, what's the difference when it comes to religions? All the religions are based on our connection to the same God, right? Our connection to each other. But when you separate things and you say that, oh, well, this is king of all kings, we prioritize this person, we prioritize it. Well, Muhammad is it. Unless your religion is incorporating everybody, incorporating all the other prophets, incorporating all the other religions that came at different times to serve different purposes, then it's always going to create division. The identity perhaps should be we're God's children. Tell me what should be prioritized over that identity of being God's children. Tell me what's going to create more of an approach, this adoption of this mindset of oneness, that we're all the same. Isn't that how God created us, as oneness, one race? God didn't create religions. Man created religion and used God's name to do so in order to control a group of people and to teach lessons. You can say whatever the motives was. I don't care what the motives were, but it was created by man. And we know man is flawed. Perhaps the primary identity should just be God's children. Imagine if we all walked around with that mindset being the primary identity. We're all God's children. Okay, now I'm not looking to take sides maybe between Israel, Palestine, and I'm just looking at it like, yo, these my bros, these my sisters. We got to figure this out. I'm not picking sides. I'm just trying to figure out a solution. So Jason Whitlock, like he said, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, they're on the right path. Jason Whitlock is on the right path as well. But what he's also not taking into accountability is what he identifies with is contributing to this tribalism that he's discussing that a lot of other non-Christians have adopted. Just my opinion, though. Just my opinion. Like Cuzzo just said, Cuzzo come in and drop gems from the jump. Jesus didn't come here to start a religion. He came to remind us that we are the light. Stop allowing man to diminish our light by clouding it with religion. clouding it with religion that was created so long ago to serve a purpose that was a problem solver for times thousands of years ago, which we had different problems and different ways of solving problems, right? Because the problems reoccur, but as we advance as a society, you can't just solve a problem. You can't just open the Old Testament and take it word for word and say, okay, I'm going to go about solving this problem. I'm going to go beat my slave, but as long as I don't, kill them on that day, as long as they don't die within that 24 hours, then it's okay. You can't do that. You can't go conquer a people and just go take whatever woman you want as your wife. You can't do these things. We talk about it all the time. We need an update. We need an update. So we got an outdated religion, which is just outdated interpretations of God, now being applied to the now. And then we wonder, and these are the same people that use this outdated religion to use their own interpretation, to gain control, to colonize groups of people that are more spiritual than religious. And we sit back and wonder why the world's in chaos. Why a lot of people think that the only answer to this problem that we have is another flood. The reset button. Jesus died opposing organized religion. And what did he win for his sacrifice? People creating a religion in his name. I always wonder, like, all these people that created the religion in God's name, if those people or their lineage was alive, I wonder what their energy was when they were hanging Jesus on the cross. Those same people that created the religion in Jesus' name, because Jesus was so impactful to them, I wonder what they were doing when Jesus was on the cross. I wonder what their uncles, their parents were doing when Jesus was on the cross, if it was passed down to them, because that's even wilder if it was created based on people that never even knew Jesus. But let's assume that it was created by people that knew Jesus. What were you doing when he was on the cross? You didn't feel that it was worth it to give up your life for the person that you're going to create a religion based on? None of this makes sense to me. I understand it, but it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand how people accept this. I don't understand how people accept this. Let's continue maybe another minute of Jason Whitlock, and then we're going to move to this next video that I was talking about with Patrick Bet-David.
And if you take on it, and so when you're looking at the black people that have rejected, and look, there's white people that have as well. There's certainly, hey, I'm transgender. Hey, I'm gay. Hey, I'm a liberal. Hey, I'm a feminist. Hey, I'm a Republican. Hey, I'm a Democrat. Hey, I'm conservative. Hey, I'm liberal. These are all bogus identities that take you away from God. All of.
And so is Christianity, if we're just being honest and looking at the history of it. Now, like I said on Wednesday, there's people that I have close to me that Christianity serves them very well. They have a great relationship with God from afar that I'm looking at. My young boy, great relationship. I talked to him about it. He prays before he goes to the gym, all this, and it really helps him. But we can't just look at the people that it helps. You also have to look at the big picture of things. You also have to look at the big picture. Because I'm pretty sure that my young boy, if he was taught, let's say, or if he embraced, and he probably does embrace it, the fact that we're all one, the fact that we're all God's children, that would help him as well. And perhaps it would help the majority of society. So let's move on to this next video that I'd like to show y'all. Here we go. All right, so there's a couple different points. I think 2 different points that I want y'all to take a look at. Let me move to the side, if I may. And if it's not this timestamp, then it's another, but one or the other. Just want us to have this conversation.
Unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here. There is
Jeez.
something deeply, deeply wrong with this culture.
And hold on one second. My fault. Let me sorry, I've been not catching up with the comments. Unc wrote, but you have to stop and think that most people that uphold Christian values read that Bible. Hold on. Read the Bible, but worship things that are man-made, and it says more than once not to do that. Unc, you're making the assumption that most Christians even read the Bible. This is another one of my criticisms of Christianity. How do you not even make it a requirement to actually learn Christianity before you accept Christianity and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior? How is that not even a requirement? Like it's insane. Most people that uphold Christian values read the Bible but worship things that are man-made, and it says that's the whole point. Most people don't know the Bible. We saw the interview with Bob Marley where he said like most Americans are taught the Bible to read scripture here, and then you fast forward, you know, a couple books ahead, and you read the scripture from that. It's like it's a book. You're supposed to read it from beginning to end. Then you realize the book of Enoch was taken out. They had the Council of Nicaea changing certain things. You got this King James version. What are we even reading? Why listen to the King James version when we can study the translations or some of the earlier translations that more directly translate, let's say, like the Ethiopian Bible? But we listen to the King James one. It's all of this stuff is goofy, Unc. All of this stuff is goofy. To each their own. If it helps you, cool. But what I would recommend people looking at is just because something helps you doesn't mean that it's good. Just because something helps you does not mean that it's good. Imagine what that mindset will do. Imagine how that mindset is impacted and played out into the destruction of Palestine. Just because something benefits you and you're able to use it to your advantage, maybe to become a better person, does not mean that that is how it is applied to the majority of people. Let's get back to this video. My fault.
And it needs to be defeated. Deeply unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here. There is something deeply, deeply wrong.
Oh, wait, whoa. Let me go back. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.